Hi everybody, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's Pluto of Pluto's Muse here, back with another timeless pick a card reading, and this one is inspired by Gemini season. Happy birthday, Gemini. This reading is titled, How Do People Perceive Your Duality? Why don't I ever remember the title of the video when I make it? I don't know why I always do that, but yes, I believe it is. Yes, how do others perceive your duality? So, like I said, this reading was inspired by Gemini season. Everybody, usually associates Gemini with some sort of two-sided energy, and every person has some level of duality to their emotions, to their personality, light and shadow sides or other versions of that. So today we're going to look into what your duality is, the one that's most significant for other people, and how they perceive this, how it's impacting people, things like that. So this should be an interesting reading. If you enjoy this reading, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bells. Check the description box down below to book a personal reading. Book a personal reading if you need further guidance. Also, we have 5 piles to choose from today. If you feel drawn to more than one pile, please choose more than one. But I highly recommend you choose the one that you feel most resonates with you the first time around. So let's get started. Hi, pile 1. You're the pile that chose image 1. All right. Which is actually an image of Kaytranada's eye. All right. If any of you listen to Kaytranada, I'll probably put him in the channel songs. But yeah, that is from the cover of an album called BUBBA, I believe. And that could be relevant for somebody in here. I think Kaytranada is a Virgo. I don't remember. I don't know if he a Gemini. No. He might be a Virgo. I can't remember, but whatever his sign is, you could be that sign. You don't have to be. I also believe he's from Canada. He's also a producer. These things may be relevant for you. Could be relevant to your energy. Could also be relevant to the people that are perceiving you somehow. Let's talk about the numbers and signs before we actually get into this message, and then I'll get into what I'm seeing on the board. So somebody in here, you could be born on the 2nd, the 16th, the 4th. Somebody could be 48, 19, or 34. So those numbers could be relevant for you. Somebody could also be an Aquarius or a Pisces, a Cancer or a Leo, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Taurus, a Libra, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Scorpio, Libra, Cancer, Leo, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, Virgo, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Libra, and Sagittarius heaviest in this pile. So these are the people that are seeing your duality, or these signs are relevant to your chart. I feel like this pile in specific has to do with it could have to do with career, but it kind of feels more romance related, pile 1. Whoever it is or whatever group of people are perceiving this duality in you could be romantic partners that you are choosing to pursue. Because I'm picking up on the energy of someone that switches between being very cold and calculated, and then another version of you being very friendly and open and almost like almost want to say like naive. Okay. So there's a certain level of naivety and joy and fun and freeness that you have that people are perceiving. But there's also another version of you that is a bit more cold, possibly even a little bit more menacing. Like people may be scared of this side of you. But it only feels like they're scared of this side of you because they don't understand that you have this other side that's pretty positive, especially when it comes to romance. I feel like the reason why you have this duality is because you are using your intuition. Point blank period. A lot of you, the reason why you show up cold one way, or like emotionally distant, kind of sneaky, a little bit more calculated, trying to figure out what's going on with people, like analyzing people. I'm getting like an analyzing vibe. There's a version of you that's super analytical, and then there's another version of you that like I think you are using your brain, but it's almost like you're not using your brain at all. It's all emotion. It's all feeling. And it's all here to be present. You're in the present moment. When it comes to this like more open side of you. But it looks like that's a side that comes out after being in this calculated energy. And like I said, The duality that's coming up in this reading has a lot to do with your beliefs, your standards, and your values around opening up to people. For some of you, this is especially seen in connections when it comes to your physical dynamics. So some of you could be very particular about who you sleep with. Some of you are also very particular about who you work with. So there could be like an energy here when it comes to creative projects or anything that you're pursuing within your creative field. Some of you could be the type of people that are willing to share ideas or talk about things with people, maybe even bounce ideas off of people when it comes to the initial phases of meeting them. But you don't fully open up or work with these people until you feel comfortable enough to be in this lighthearted, friendly, optimistic, vulnerable state. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people feel like the way that you use this duality is to vet people properly when it comes to love. Some people feel like it's because you have a lot of options in love, so you can't trust everybody. So you tend to switch between this energy of being a bit distant and hard to read and then being kind of open. But the people who do get the opportunity to see the side of you that is very positive or friendly or loving, these people admire this about you. They feel like you're really good at being fair when it comes to connections. I almost feel like there's a lot of people that are learning some form of a karmic lesson through you because they recognize that it takes a certain level of trust to get you to open up or to commit to them or whatever it is. And if you don't trust them or don't commit to them, some of these people only see the side of you that's cold, that's calculated, that is professional. It's almost like I'm getting like a vibe here of I'm hearing like code switching. Like some of you could have a vibe of someone that like you act one way at work, but then you act another way around your friends and stuff like that. I'm getting like an energy here, your close friends or whatever. There could be people around you in your work arena that want to see the version of you that's really open, but they won't see that unless they, gain some level of trust between you and them. Yeah. I do feel like also this is all coming from a space of love. So rather it be love of self or love of other people. Some of you are very particular about who you give love to because you have a lot of love to give. The version of you that is very open, when people do come into contact with that version of you or get access to that version of you, is something that they never forget, especially in the bedroom. Especially in the bedroom. Pile one, I'm picking up on somebody in here that like you have an energy in the bedroom that's different from how you show up in public. So like if you are someone, or even if not, well, maybe it is in public. Maybe some of y'all are like, you know, maybe some of y'all are like more adventurous in the bedroom, but you're, reserved or closed off in public. However, I am getting like a more of an energy here of someone that you almost don't even pick up on the fact that they are thinking about things related to the bedroom or romance and stuff like that. Like I think the initial meeting of you, I think there's an undertone of something that seems kind of like you are flirty or, feisty or something like that. Like they can pick up on it intuitively, but you're really good at hiding that. Some of you are really good at hiding certain parts of yourself, but when they do get access to those parts of yourself, it's like it seems like it's an experience to remember. All right, so that is your duality. That's what I'm picking up on. It doesn't seem like anything too heavy, but yeah, the part of you that is initially getting to know people is very cold, possibly intimidating, a little bit scary. But when you are in it or open or available for people, your energy is very fun. It seems like it's your inner child that comes out. Very open, very fun, very loving, jovial, charismatic, intuitive. You're always intuitive. You're also always divine. Power one. A lot of people view you as a divine masculine or a divine feminine. So, but the energy you're taking on when you choose to be in this dual type of energy, when you're cold and then you're open, has a lot to do with your divine masculine energy, because this is about you being open to pursuing something. This isn't about people pursuing you. I think a lot of people come towards you either way, and their initial view of you is you being kind of cold and calculated. But when you are open to people, that's when you show them the side of yourself that's really fun. So that's what I'm picking up on. If you enjoyed this reading, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bells. Check the description box down below to book a personal reading. Book a personal reading if you need further guidance. Talk to you guys later. Hi, pal 2. You're the pal that chose the image of the eye that says, wake up. All right. So, before we actually get into your message, let's get into the numbers and signs that are most relevant in this pile. I'm seeing 10, 24, 44, 27, 44 again. Some of you guys could be seeing 444 or 4444, 33 as well. Yeah, and 9 may be relevant. Somebody could be a Libra or a Scorpio. Someone could be a Cancer or a Gemini. I'm getting Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn as well. Someone could be a Leo or Virgo. Virgo or Libra. Cancer or Gemini again. Gemini, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius are most relevant in this pile. Okay. For a lot of you, this is about you in a workspace. Pile 2. The duality that people see within you is within your workspace. This could also be friend groups, all right? Some of you, this could be about your friend groups, but I'm really getting your workspace. And what they're seeing out of you is, I was hearing, it's a dog eat dog world at some point while I was pulling your cards out. So some people may view you as the type of person that wins at all costs. There's a side of you that holds back nothing. I don't even know how to communicate that. Some of y'all don't hold back at all. You really go hard for what you want, especially when it comes to your work arenas. You are very competitive. You could be some of you could even be seen as a bit of a bully. All right. I'm not going to lie. Like, you're the type of person, or this is how you're being perceived. Again, this doesn't have to be true, but some people could view you as the type of person that, like, if not a full on bully, it's like when your eye is set on something, a goal, a dream, a vision of some sort, you don't let up. You don't let up. You go really hard for what you want, to the point where some of you are even willing to cut off people, in certain investments, whatever it is, in order for you to achieve a certain goal. And people see this part of you as, for a lot of you, some people perceive this reaction or this part of your personality as a trauma response. All right. Some people feel like you've been through a lot, and this is why you show up in this harsh or predatory type of energy. This version of yourself where you want to win at all costs is something that comes as a result of the relationships that you've had or lack thereof in the past. But I'm really getting, like, if people have done you dirty, or if you've been the type of person that was bullied at some point in time, or were the type of person that was underestimated, you have now become a version of a person that does not want to ever finish last. However, there's another side of you where you're not as calculated, pile 2. In fact, I feel like a lot of people view you as like there's a version of you that's very calculated and has a plan, and then there's another version of you that's like, you just want to be accepted. You just want to be accepted. You just want to be like, you really want to be embraced. You really want to be embraced. Somebody in here, you could be in the LGBTQ. You don't have to be. Because I'm also picking up on somebody where it's like the version of you that's coming off like a bully or cold or whatever it is could be a version of you that is protecting your sexuality from people. Like, maybe you're showing up a little bit harder, a little bit meaner, a little bit tougher in open areas or with people you don't fully know immediately. Initially, if you're meeting people, you might come off a certain type of way. Could even be, again, like, this isn't for everybody, but I'm picking up on this in the cards. You could be the type of person that is like if you're a masculine that is in the LGBTQ, and maybe you know around the right crowd of people or around people that you trust, you show different versions of yourself. I'm getting like when you are initially met, especially in your work arena, you may come off really like almost hyper masculine, like a little bit hard, a little bit hard, a little bit more focused on your work, a little less emotional, a little less empathetic. But when you're around the people that you trust or around the people that you love, whether you're a masculine or feminine, any type of person that's watching this pile, I am getting that some of you show up more free spirited, more open, more loving, more optimistic, more playful. Your inner child is active. And this seems to be a constant or consistent theme in all the piles. Even if you are a feminine, like I said, some of you show up a certain type of way in your business arena that may come off very competitive or very stern or very serious about what you're doing. But when you're around the right kind of people, or around the people that you trust most, or around people that you don't feel like you're competing with, then you come off as like open and unconditionally loving and not as harsh. Like maybe you're in an authoritative role at your job, so maybe you're like a manager or a CEO or something like that, or you're the head of the company. If you are someone that is in a role like that, there are people that see you in that role that are very intimidated by you, and then there's another group of people that see you outside of that role, or who know a version of you outside of work that just see you like going with the flow. Like, it's to the point where I feel like in a work arena, you're winning at all costs. In your friend group, you could play a card game and you don't care if you win or lose. You don't care if you win or lose. I mean, some of you could still be competitive, but I'm getting like you really don't care. You're just happy to be there. Like you're happy to be around people. You love being around your friends. You love being around your family or the people you view as soul family. Like, and for the people that get to see this version of you that's soft, it's really like a real stark difference between how you show up in work arenas and how you show up around the people you love. Like I think people are, like I said, could be a bit afraid of you in your work arena, or may view you like, I feel like some people might not like you. I'm not gonna lie, pal too. Not because you are unlikable, but just because you show up in a way that makes them feel like you don't care how they feel. You just want to get something done and go about your business, or you don't care how they feel. You just want to win. This is a fair game. You're going to win either way. And that can be really hard on your relationships if you're trying to build relationships with people. Because I think a lot of people they don't empathize with you enough in your work arena because of this energy that you show up in. But when they see you around your friends, or when they see you in around your love interest, or when they see you around people that you trust, it honestly confuses them. A lot of people are confused about how to approach you. Like if anybody who's in your work arena has seen you around the people that you trust, they start to feel like they don't know whether they should be competing with you, or whether they should be treating this like a thing where you are an enemy of theirs. You're more likable. You're more likable than people realize. I'm also getting to when people start to learn about your trauma, or again, if you are someone that is like hiding a side of yourself because of some form of trauma, like people are judging you because of your sexuality, people are judging you because of your belief system, who knows? I'm getting like, once you tell people why it is you act a certain way, they start to change their perspective of you. They want to love you. They want to apologize to you. They want to be nicer to you because they start to realize why you may have came off that way in the first place. Yeah, like there's a lot of people that go, oh my God, no wonder. Like, I didn't know that that was something that you did. Like, I'm low key, like, this doesn't have to be the case for somebody, but I'm even getting the energy of someone like where you could come off real cold and real like serious in a certain arena. Again, maybe you're like a teacher, or you are a manager, or you're something like you're in some sort of role where you are being like, you're in control. But if you are like someone in the LGBTQ, you could be going to like full on drag shows, like outside of work, or like doing something that's really like extravagant or different than what it is that you're actually doing in your workspace. This is for somebody. It doesn't have to be that extreme, but it could even be too, like, maybe you are someone that is, if you're not in the LGBTQ, I'm getting like some of you could just be in a very like technical job, a very logical job, a very serious space. And then like outside of work, you're like a creative. Some of you are really creative people. You could be an artist, you could be a cook, you could be a musician, you're all these different things. When people see that version of you, they change their perspective of you. They empathize with you way more. They really do. Because the version of you that they gain respect for in their workspace is not the version of you that they gain respect for outside of the workspace. It's almost like some of you are ruling with an iron fist in one arena, and then the other arena, not saying that you're always coming off mean, because some of y'all are still like smiling and being like friendly to people in your workspace, but I'm getting like, it's just no games. No games. We're not playing any games. Everything has a plan. Everything has a mission. We have to get it done. You know, even if you work for yourself, like people know when it's time to work, you're working. You know, you're not the type of person that is making time for other people when you work. And if people get in the way of your work, it's a done deal. But I'm getting like, when you're off though, when you're out of work, you're a good time. You're a real good time. You're way less menacing. You're way more focused on loving others. You're way more empathetic towards other people's human experiences. You show up in a way that is more forgiving. Yeah, some of you are more forgiving. So one version of you is unforgiving, and another version of you, super forgiving. Okay? So that's how you're showing up, pile 2. That's your duality, and this is how people are perceiving it, and this is how they feel about it, things like that. So please take what resonates and leave the rest. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bells. Check the description box down below to book a personal reading. Book a personal reading if you need further guidance. Talk to you guys later. Hi, pile 3. You're the pile that chose image 3. All right, let's get into the signs and the numbers that are most relevant in this pile. I'm seeing 43, 7, 16, 32, 47, 13, 26, and 5 as being relevant numbers in this pile. Somebody could be a Cancer or a Leo. Yes, Cancer or Leo. Somebody could be, wow, you guys. I just got thrown off. We got 43, 7, and 16. That's 777. Some of you guys could be seeing 777 in this pile, or there is some sort of monetary blessing that could be coming in for you. Or some of you guys are just really lucky people. This definitely could have to do with your career, pile 3. But yeah, I'm seeing 7s out here. So Cancer and Leo. I'm also seeing Taurus and Gemini. I'm seeing Scorpio and Sagittarius. Somebody could be a Taurus or an Aries. Somebody could be a Leo or a Virgo. Taurus or Gemini again. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio heavy. Scorpio heavy. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Libra. And that's it. Those are the most prominent signs I'm seeing out here. Okay, so pile 3, this really has to do with your career, but also just about your individuality in general and how you choose to defend yourself, interestingly enough. So I'm picking up on this energy in this pile. I'm sorry. I'm getting sleepy. I'm picking up on this energy in your pile where some of you are the type of people that get motivated by other people's rejection and or what do you call it? Yeah, like their rejection or their resistance. If people tell you that something isn't going to work out for you, especially when it comes to your career, pile 3, somebody tells you something isn't going to work out for you, that thing isn't cool. That thing is not going to be successful. You won't be successful in this arena. I don't care how slow you are moving when it comes to a project, to a thing. Could even be to a love situation. Like if any of you are in connections where, I don't know, like the example would be like maybe some of you guys are in connections with people who are like, yeah, I mean, you're not going to find anybody better than me, or you're not going to, leave this relationship and find the person that's going to give you what you want. Like, your standards are too high, or you da da da. Doesn't matter what people are saying that goes against what it is that you believe you deserve. When you feel fired up towards defending your stance, your energy changes. Naturally, like I said, some of you are very slow. You take your time. You're very patient, very intuitive. You go with the flow because you are so intuitive, right? You're just trusting the process, and people notice this. Some of you are even the type of people where, like, again, if this is about your actual dreams, your career goals, things like that, some of you are really cool with sitting in the back seat, kind of taking the time to, or even in like the passenger seat. Even some of you guys are willing to let the divine take control, and you trust the process. You do the work, and you explore your own personality. You explore your own self-concept without having to feel like you need to perform for anybody, or even feeling like you need to prove yourself to anybody. But when you are in situations where people are blocking your goals, challenging your dreams, challenging your individuality, your uniqueness, making fun of you, anything like that, there's something here about you like picking up the pace. All right. I actually really like this energy in this pile. Like, when people try to, like, this is giving me the vibe of somebody, like, if you don't post a lot on social media, okay, or you like are having a down period on social media, like maybe you're not posting as consistently, or you're like not taking, like, if you are a content creator, you're not taking things as seriously as you want to take them. If somebody comments on you and says something where it's like, yeah, I knew this person wasn't going to do it anyway, or I know this person wasn't going to be important either way, or I knew they were going to give up on that thing, or, I don't know, they're falling off. Like, if somebody says something about you falling off, you always pop back out. You always pop back out. You always show up like you never left. You always go harder for what it is that you want. You might even verbally defend yourself. Some of you are the type to speak up for yourself. So if somebody says something about you that is, again, challenging who you are, challenging what you're building for yourself, challenging what your purpose is, you are the type of person that will speak up. Normally you wouldn't speak up. Normally you wouldn't, want to engage in any form of conflict. But it's like, I'm getting like, when they say, what's the phrase that they say? Don't come for me if I didn't send for you. If somebody comes for you, this is the energy of like a wild animal lying dormant. Like, some of you have the type of energy where people think because you're not saying anything that you don't have any fire behind you. And you prove people wrong. You prove a lot of people wrong, because either some of you start going really hard when it comes to what you're building for yourself, and people start to notice, like, wow, after this person left me behind, their business grew. After this person left me behind, they revived their career. They started working out again. Like, if some of y'all were falling off and people were like, yeah, you letting go of yourself, da 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 da. Some of y'all start working out again. You start taking care of your style. You start taking care of your health. You start getting serious about your hobbies again, or something like that. And you show up even better than you left. And this is something that people are noticing about you. People are noticing that you move slow because you want to move slow. It's not because you don't know how to get back on your feet. It's not because you don't know how to pick up the pace. It's just that it's almost like you need a fire lit under you in order for you to feel motivated into doing certain things. And that's not to say that you should always, be experiencing some level of like pushback in order for you to feel motivated. But people are starting to notice, like, if they do ever underestimate you, or if they ever do try to put you down or make you feel small or make you feel invisible, it's like you always show up again, or you always come back out, and it's like, look at me now. Look at me still going. Look at me having a new skill. Look at me still being fine. Like, look at me living my best life. Like, you thought I wasn't doing anything. I actually am living my best life. I'm getting energy here too of like, if people have tried to act like because you aren't performing or because you aren't showing up a certain type of way around them, again, when it comes to your career or just personality wise, if people start to act like, I feel like a lot of people in this pile, you start to get people that like to copy you. Okay. Some of y'all got people who like to copy you in pile 3. The people that like to copy you most are the people that benefit from you not being around. So when you're not around, they take your personality straight up. Or when you're not like posting a lot or showing up a certain type of way, people try to mimic what you do in hopes that they'll get the same response, or in hopes that they'll get the same reaction, or in hopes that people don't notice that, you know, it's almost like this is giving me like, I know y'all have heard about like destiny swapping. Like I'm getting a destiny swapping vibe. Like some of you may even have people who are like, yeah, this person stole my style. Like they stole my vibe, or they copied me. Like people try to act like you are copying them. But when you pop back out, it's like you're a whole new version of yourself, and even more unique, even more individual. You know, you're the one that's pushing out the ideas. If you are like, if any of you are readers in this pile, especially, I mean, you could be in any field of work, makeup, art, hair, fashion, music, whatever it is. Sometimes I'm getting from the point of view of a reader, right? Because I'm a reader. You could be the type of person where you may not know that people are taking your ideas, or kind of like, you know, like swagger jacking. Like I'm getting somebody in here. You might have people that are swagger jacking or something like that. And when you take down periods, or you're not posting, or you're not showing up, some people may try to frame themselves as the one that had that idea, or was the person that acted this way in the first place, in hopes that people don't notice that they are, you know, basically taking some sort of inspiration from you. And I'm talking about people who are not giving credit. I'm talking about people who are just doing things to show up a certain type of way and not giving others credit where credit is due. So like, let's say you cover a certain topic or do something. These are the type of people that are not giving you credit for the topic that you created, that was very unique, that you created, or whatever it is. So this type of energy, for those people that are acting like this, you are the type of person where it's like, you might not even know these people exist. You might not even be paying attention to these people. You don't even know that these people are doing this, are talking about you, or are acting like you stole from them, whatever it is. So when you pop back out after a period of downtime, because you're starting to feel like people are like, you know, like you're starting to feel like people are forgetting. Okay? You're starting to feel like people are forgetting that you are who you are. When you pop back out, a lot of people's response to you popping back out is like they are ready. They're ready to see what you posted. They're ready to see what you did. They're ready to see what you wore. They're ready to see what you said. They're ready to see how you showed up. Even if you aren't someone that's doing something like reading or anything like that. Like if you're doing any form of content, you know, this could just be your regular account. When you guys pop out and you talk about this inspirational idea, or you start having these conversations with people, or you start, you know, motivating others or something like that, there's an energy here of people that really feed off of that in hopes that they have something to, like, you know, tell other people. And you may not realize that people are doing this because some of you don't care about people who are, you know, finding inspiration through you. It just is what it is. Like, you are an inspirational person. But for others of you, again, I think it's probably very noticeable, the people who are copying you, or who are taking from your style, or who are finding inspiration from you and maybe aren't giving credit, or who are like just simply not trying to give you your flowers or whatever it is. And instead of you retaliating, I feel like a lot of you, your retaliation is in the form of like showing up and showing out. That's what I'm getting. Like you show up even more unique, even more individual, even more authentic than you were before. And this puts other people to shame, because everybody that knows your vibe knows that your vibe is so unique that when other people try to mimic that vibe, it is very clear that it was copied. It is very clear that it was copied. All right. So there's something here like that. Like some of y'all have that type of energy, even down to if this is like a love situation, you guys. Some of you, like, you can have love interests that aren't giving you credit, like exes that aren't giving you credit for being the driving force behind their success, or being the person that motivated them on a certain path, or being the person that inspired them to change their style or do whatever it is. And I think a lot of people around this person, when you are in the cut and hiding and not focused on what's going on around you, a lot of the people around this person may really believe that, you know, like that this person benefited you or this person showed you the way or whatever it is. But when you pop out, and you show what you've accomplished on your own time, you show how you are being authentic either way, maybe even how you're being authentic without putting other people down or something like that, or trying to make other people feel small. There's like this energy here where you are exalted in the process, and whoever it was that was trying to talk down on you or compete with you or whatever it is, they're coming back around to take notes. That's what I'm getting. So the duality that people are seeing in you is that there's periods of time where you're taking it slow, taking it easy, following your gut and just letting life have control of you. And then there's other times where you are in complete control of where your life is headed, or how you show up in the world or how you're being represented. All right. So that is what I'm seeing. Please take what resonates and leave the rest. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bells. Check the description box down below to book a personal reading. Book a personal reading if you need further guidance. Hi, pile 4. You are the pile that chose image 4. Before we actually get into your pile, let's get into the numbers and signs that are most relevant in this pile. I'm seeing 16, 22, 14, 15, 24, 38, 21. Yes. Somebody could be Cancer or a Leo. Somebody could be an Aries or a Taurus. Somebody could be a Taurus or a Gemini. Cancer or Gemini. Scorpio or Sagittarius. Pisces or Aries. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Aries, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Taurus, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio again. Okay. These are the most prominent signs in this pile. Could be yours, could be somebody else's, the people that are perceiving you. You're very grounded in this pile 4. Or some of you are definitely working on being more grounded. But for a lot of you, I am getting that you're pretty grounded in this pile. You're grounded when it comes to what it is that you're choosing to commit yourself to, or like the basis of what you choose to focus on. There's a foundation behind this duality. Because for a lot of you, your duality is definitely a shadow side and a light side. Some of you, the reason why you have this shadow side is because of some sort of pattern you've adopted from your past and or your childhood even. Could even be like your south node energy. Some of y'all, I'm picking up on someone that switches between their south node and their north node pretty often. Or someone that people have seen switch from their north node and south node. Okay. Because I'm picking up on an energy here of someone that has the capability of operating from a distorted masculine space. Somebody in here, you could be a bit distorted at times. Or somebody has seen you be a bit distorted at times in your masculine energy in particular. So maybe there's some ego involved. There could even be some form of manipulation going on. Some of you have a tendency, okay, this is what I'm getting, especially if this is related to like a dating situation. This could also be a friendship situation or a work scenario, but I'm really getting if this is dating wise. Some of you have had periods of time, especially with the picture. I believe this is the eye with the rock star on it. Regardless of what your gender is or how you identify, some of you have had periods of time where you spread yourself thin. Okay? You had a lot of people in your energy, a lot of friends, a lot of lovers, a lot of things. I'm not sure how you were spreading your energy out, whether it was on a sexual level or whether it was just like a friendly type of thing. But some of you definitely are the type of people who in the past strived to be liked. Or this is a part of your personality. They're saying this is your duality. So I'm saying this could be a past trait of yours. Maybe some of you have worked on this. But for others of you, this is like a default. Like this is a version of you that comes out on occasion. There is a version of you that is very charming, very perceptive, a bit sneaky even. And it seems like it's like coming off this way. But I really feel like this is like a people-pleasing energy. Like some of you have Some of you have a tendency to spread yourself thin because that is what you're used to. So staying in contact with more than one person, or striving to connect with more than one person, because you don't believe that you'll get what it is that you want. All right. Again, rather that be in love or friendship or whatever it is. Some of you have been around whole groups of friends, whole groups of people. None of them you trusted. None of them you liked fully or anything like that. Simply because you enjoy the validation. Simply because you don't want to be alone. Okay. And I'm not judging anybody for this, by the way, but I'm picking up on this energy. Somebody in here, on occasion, you don't like being alone. So you're willing to hang out with anybody and everybody simply because you struggle with some form of like maybe an abandonment wound from childhood, or maybe you've even been like the type of kid that was bullied at some point in time, and your way of coping with bullying or trying to get out of that was like befriending a bunch of people, or possibly even befriending the bully, right? Sometimes people befriend the bully so they don't have to get bullied. I'm getting like that type of vibe. Like some of y'all strive to be cool with people, and it really is like a people pleasing thing, just because there's a fear here of being on your own. But I'm getting another side of you that you have is a version of yourself that is closed off and protective of everything that you've obtained in this lifetime, all the good character traits that you have, all the things that should have a little bit more boundaries around it. Like, I feel like the part of you that's like super open and friendly, it's nothing wrong with that energy. But I think that in a dating space, there's a lot of people who perceive the friendly parts of you as like a trauma response. And I brought that up in another pile, but I don't think it was the same type of energy. I'm getting in this pile though, some people may view your openness or this desire to be liked by people, to be sneaky, to be like kind of like, yeah, I'm in this, I can talk to anybody type of vibe, or I can get anybody type of vibe, and I'm talking to more than one person. Whatever it is, whatever that energy is for you, even if it isn't on a romantic level, if you're like, yeah, I got so many friends, I have all these different people I talk to. Some people view that energy as a trauma response, because there's another version of you that is very protective of your energy, and people feel like that's because you understand that what you want is worth the wait. Okay? People have seen you be both versions of this. People have seen you be super open to all kinds of people and then also super closed off. Possibly even hermited. Like some of y'all are on your own, focused on yourself, don't want to be bothered, focused on your work, healing, making your inner world more colorful than it's ever been, and grounding yourself and keeping yourself free spirited and honoring your emotions and going through ascensions and things like that, and sacrificing the things that don't serve you, sacrificing every connection around you simply to keep your peace of mind. There's a version of you that can sacrifice everyone, and then there's another version of you that is the life of the party and wants to be seen as the life of the party and wants to be liked by everyone. But again, I think that people are starting to realize that that version of you could potentially be a trauma response. Yeah. Like, it actually is very healing of you to be alone or something like that. Or it actually is very healing of you to be closed off, because in the periods when you are closed off, you are pouring into yourself. And every time you pour into yourself, every time you invest in yourself, pile forward, people notice a significant growth in your character development. There's something here about you becoming more mature and more established. Could even be like, again, you lock in, you start focusing on work instead of focusing on love or connections or whatever it is. And it's like your money improves, your style improves, your mental health improves. Like so many things improve when you focus on yourself. And people realize like, this is a karmic lesson that you're going through. Your duality has a lot to do with this karmic lesson. That's why I said it seems like it's a south node, north node type of thing. Like some of you, and it doesn't even have to be that you are the type of person that's like sleeping with a lot of people or dating a lot of people. Some of you could even have a tendency to like work for other people, or like pour all your energy into helping other people, like even in a workspace. Some of you, the part of you that wants to people please and look out for everybody, is a version of yourself that people believe could possibly be a trauma response. Which I honestly think that's kind of interesting that these people are viewing it this way, because most times if people are feeling selfish, they would want to benefit off of that. I mean, there could be people around you that are benefiting off of that and not complaining about it, but it kind of feels like there's another version of a person or another group of people who are seeing this and they're like, this isn't good for this person to be spread out this thin, to be helping out everybody and not helping themselves, to be, you know, the life of the party and a source of light for other people, but not healing themselves. Because when you do choose to kind of focus more on yourself or go inward, they realize that like you're healing. You heal more in solitude. You heal more on your own. And funny enough, I feel like what you don't realize is that when you're away, after you go through these periods of time where you're like super helpful, super fun, all of this stuff for other people, when you pull your energy back, people really start to recognize how valuable you actually are. Anybody you've ever had to pull your energy away from, family members, friends, co-workers, whatever it is, jobs, doesn't matter. When you remove your energy and focus on yourself and stop operating in this like egoic space or this space that's searching for validation, when you move out of that space and focus on yourself, a lot of people start to see you as more valuable. Yeah. Like your value comes in periods of solitude. People feel like you become more valuable when you're away from them, because when you're there, it's like they don't really always, you know, people don't always appreciate you. Pile 4, unfortunately. Yeah, people don't always see you for who you truly are. And sometimes they see you more or understand you more when you pull your energy back, because they realize like, oh my gosh, Pile 4 is like the best person I know. Pile 4 is so motivating. Pile 4 is so kind. Pile 4 is so smart. Pile 4 is so funny. Like, Pile 4 is so likable. You know, maybe I didn't deserve all of that from Pile 4. Maybe Pile 4 shouldn't have given me all that energy. Maybe Pile 4 didn't need to commit to me. Like, some of you people start to realize that they took you for granted with this duality that you have. Has something to do with people realizing that they've taken you for granted. Because the part of you that's willing to be open and fun and all of this stuff, I feel like they view it as a negative thing at first. Like I said, because, you know, to a certain degree, if they're not dissecting it fully and they're not looking at the fact that this could be a trauma response, some people would just simply think that you are like an attention whore. Pile 4, like you're someone that just wants to be seen, just wants to be heard, just wants to go out, you know, you're around a bunch of people and you're ghosting people and you're doing all kinds of stuff, and people are like, this person is such a, you know, a jerk, like they don't value connections, they just want to get to know everybody. And I don't think they realize that like this desire for validation is again coming from possible trauma, something from your upbringing, whether it's in your family dynamic, friend groups, or school, whatever it is. So when you do choose to pull your energy back and you focus on yourself and you start to heal and you love yourself and all these things, they start to notice that maybe it was you just trying to be loved. Maybe it was you just trying to be included. Maybe you were just trying to help out other people. Maybe you don't know how to help yourself. You know, maybe you struggled with that in the past. And they might even start to realize too, like, Pile 4 never asked for help. Some of you are always around people, but you never ask for help. You always look out for other people. You always ask them what they need. You know? If they come to you for advice or something like that, you always give them an answer. It's like very rarely are you the one that is seeking them from a space of like, can you help me? It's more so like, let's just hang out and I want to say like waste time and just be around each other so we can forget about what's going on, and you know, let's avoid our emotions for a second. You do that with them and people enjoy it. But then they start to realize like, oh, you know, have I checked on Pile 4, or does Pile 4 need me? Or, you know, Pile 4 is actually a really nice person. Pile 4 actually has a lot of value. Some people start to want to commit to you, Pile 4. because of this version of you that they've seen, that's like the fact that you're able to switch between being super, like some of you are ambiverts in this pile. The fact that you're able to switch from being super extroverted to like very introverted. Some people are like, I like this about you. Or even down to, like I said, if there's a version of you that's like, oh yeah, I'm open to everybody. And then all of a sudden you're like, no, I actually want to be more intentional about who I choose to entertain. It causes people to start to look at you as more of commitment material rather than someone that's here for a good time, not a long time. All right. So that's what's coming up in this pile. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bells. Check the description box down below to book a personal reading. Book a personal reading if you need further guidance. Hi, pile 5. You're the pile that chose image 5. All right. Before we actually get into this pile, let's get into the numbers and signs that are most relevant in this pile. I'm seeing 31, 14, 20, 12. 2012 could have been a significant year for you. Pile 5. I'm seeing 20, 40, 28 as relevant numbers in this pile. Somebody could be an Aries or a Taurus. Could be a Taurus or a Gemini. Pisces or Aquarius. Pisces or Aries. Scorpio or Libra. I'm seeing Capricorn. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Libra, Aries, Aquarius, Scorpio as the most relevant signs in this pile. Did I say Sagittarius and Capricorn as well? I'm seeing that too. Okay. This pile has to do with career, friendship, and love. This duality that I'm picking up on could just be just a part of your personality in general. All right. Some of the piles have more like specific themes where it's like these are people perceiving this in your romantic connections, or these are people perceiving this about you at your job. But for some of you, this is just your nature. Okay. And I'm getting that your duality has a lot to do with jumping the gun, or being in an energy where you think long and hard about what you want to do. So some of you have a side of yourself that's very impulsive, that's very driven by your joy, that is very, it's almost like it's a very logical side of you almost. And, you know, some people could perceive it as emotional, and it could be emotional, but I really feel like if it is emotional, I feel like some of you are definitely more impulsive at times when it comes to your emotional responses, or, the rain may be significant in this pile 5. Picking up on rain heavily. Okay, it's been raining out here where I'm at, but I'm getting like it could be raining where you are, or there's something significant about the rain. Cleansing yourself, purging. Yeah, like things being cleaned. Some of you, these people who are perceiving you, again, definitely could be love interests. And I'm getting the scenario of, okay. Some of you, I'm getting the scenario of someone that, like, let's say you're someone that has leaned more into lust in the past. Yes. If you're someone that is easily triggered by people trying to thirst trap you or tempt you or something like that, not easily triggered. I don't want to make you sound like you're easy. But I mean, listen, I'm getting somebody in here. If you're someone that has previously been the type of person that was easily swayed by, your attraction towards someone or your desire for something physical, I feel like the duality that is being highlighted in this reading has a lot to do with someone that is being very particular about who they give themselves to, even if there's history there. Pile 5. Some of you have people who try to revisit you or come into your space or tempt you again, even after you've like cut them off or created some form of distance or figured out who they are. And people are noticing that, like, maybe at one point in time, or there is a version of you that would be very impulsive, that would be very open, that would be seeking some form of pleasure. But then there's another side of you that tends to be more thoughtful and sensitive even, and you think before you act or react. People are noticing this about you. Yeah. Even if this isn't on like a sexual thing, I'm getting some of you, this could even be about like partying or something. Like maybe in the past you were the type of person where somebody's like, listen, we're going out tonight. We're about to do this, da 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 da. You would be like, bet. Like, I'm putting on my outfit. I already know what I'm gonna wear. I'm going out. It is what it is. There's a new version of you, or there's a version of you that currently exists that is the opposite of that. It's the opposite of, oh yeah, let's go, I'm ready to go. It's more so like, let me think about it first. And let me really think about it on a deep level. Let me see how this is going to impact me on a soul level, how it's going to disrupt my healing, how it's going to cause me to fall back into a new cycle. Like, people can tell that there's versions of you that just want to up and do it. And then there's another version of you that really takes their time to think. This is your dual nature. And again, the basis of all these actions and reactions is joy. So some of you prioritize your joy so much that you only want to invest in people, places, and things that bring you joy. But I'm getting like, some of you are also redefining what joy is for you. And maybe at one point in time, joy for you was like something more lusty or something more toxic or something that would lower your vibration. Now it's looking like you're open to people or open to new situations, open to invitations, whatever it is. But you have more self-control. You have more self-control. And this energy that you're in is actually inspiring some people around you, because I feel like if anybody underestimated you or came at you the wrong way or pursued a connection with you with the mindset of like, oh, this person's just lusty or whatever it is, I feel like they're seeing different sides of you now that are causing them to stress out a bit. These people are like, maybe this person, I'm getting like, if anybody is trying to win you over with just beauty, they got another thing coming. They are not multifaceted enough for you. Yeah. They won't last long. It'll be a temporary high. I think some of you have identified what the temporary highs are. The things that are good in the moment but not good in the long term. Some of you have realized this, or some of you are in this energy right now. And this is how people are seeing your duality. Like I said, at some point in time, you might have even been the type of person, this is for someone specific, not for all of you, but some of you could have even been the type of people where it was like, when it was about money, it's like, you don't care how you have to make this money. You'll do whatever it is to get money because money makes you happy. And I'm getting like, and I mean that in a negative way. Like, I'm getting some of you are willing to do whatever it is you wanted to do to get money. Not saying it in like honestly, I can't control how the message sounds, but I'm getting like somebody in here, you could have been the type of person that was willing to, you didn't have any morals or values around certain things in the past, and now you do. Or people are noticing that this is something that you are split between. There's a version of you that is acting on impulse or saying certain things or being a certain way, to, I want to say, to like ignore your deeper feelings or just ignoring depth in general. But then there's another side of you that really is aiming to be more enlightened or to see from a higher perspective or to gain a certain level of wisdom. Like, some of you are noticing that sometimes you're a human and other times you are like a spirit having a human experience. This is what people are noticing about you. Sometimes you're just a regular guy, girl, person. Other times you are a siren, a fairy. I don't know. You are, I don't know, an earth angel. There's different sides to you. And people are starting to notice, like, the more divine you become, the more focused on the divine you are, The less likely their old tricks work, or the things that used to attract you work. Like, those things don't work anymore. Yeah. There's a lot of people that may even want to come back right now at this point in time in your life. Pile 5, because I'm picking up on something here about people wanting to make amends with you and stuff like that. I'm not saying that everybody that wants to make amends with you is a bad person either. Like I said, some of these people are starting to realize, like, oh, maybe this person, I don't know. Like, I don't know, sometimes with this type of duality, maybe sometimes you come off a bit prudish or uninterested, could even be judgmental. But then there's like another version of you where it's like you don't care, you're just doing what you want to do, you're living free, whatever it is. It feels like there's people who have realized that they misinterpreted the energies that you carry, and maybe projected a certain version of yourself on you, or like judged you for things that didn't need to be judged. So now that you're all like wise, and now that these people are seeing a version of you that is wiser, that is more patient, that is more discerning, there's something here about people wanting to come back to you or to revisit connections with you or something like that. So that is all that I have for my pile 5s. I hope that makes sense, pile 5. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Turn on your notification bells. Check the description box down below to book a personal reading. Book a personal reading if you need further guidance.